Hi, everybody. Craig from URComped here. I've got a very special interview with a very special guest, Ben Koff, VP of Marketing at the Scarlet Pearl Casino Resort. I'm having a hard time pronouncing the name of the city, even though it's not that hard, but it's in the Gulf Coast, a hidden gem for a lot of people. Ben, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's great to be here in the city, D'Iberville. Yeah, it's one of those city names with an apostrophe.
Yeah, apostrophes throw me off, but what's funny is through this pandemic, with URComp, we mainly deal with cruise lines, and now obviously with cruises stopped, a lot of people are inquiring more about kind of resort destinations within the U.S. And we've been getting an unbelievable amount of inquiries about the Gulf Coast because I called it a hidden gem a minute ago, but really a lot of people that have been there love it, but a lot of the country have not been to the Gulf Coast before. So why don't you maybe start by talking about Scarlet Pearl and then tell us about the region in general?
Yeah, actually, I take it the other way around because the region itself is a fascinating story. When gaming came to the Gulf Coast, it was a vibrant industry, but then, of course, Hurricane Katrina hit this area, the dead center, and caused a lot of damage. We had casinos and barges that were like left on highways and left inland, and it was a lot of terrible devastation overall for not only the community but the casino industry. In rebuilding in the next following years, it gave the opportunity for the industry to rebuild even better facilities across the coast and move a little bit more inland and take a different take on their investment structure. So right now you have a vibrant gaming industry right here on the coast. Beautiful beaches, wonderful weather, the best food you could ask for. I would put our food on a whole, if you want to have fancy schmancy food, what Vegas is lovely. You can have that here too, but you can't have the down home cooking of someone cooking a crawfish boil, eating oysters, and shrimp, freshly caught. Those are things that you can't have in the middle of the desert. I can't really have it in Atlantic City so much either. So we're proud. It's a wonderful gaming community and a wonderful hospitality community. The entire region it's tourism, it's beaches, it's casinos. There's a lot more than just casinos here. And 5 years ago, Scarlet Pearl Casino was built into Iberville. And so we have the unique ability to kind of look at what everybody's done and build something different. And we've taken a different take. Some call us a boutique hotel, boutique casino on the coast. I would argue we're a little bit bigger than that, but we do have a great feel, and it's a wonderful place to work in the gaming industry.
You make a great point about the region, about the uniqueness of it, and as Indian gaming becomes more prevalent around the country, and gaming is kind of a commodity, I think the region becomes more and more important. And Vegas has been a draw for so long because of the volume. I think the volume of people that go there, Vegas is a lot of things that only Vegas can do, these crazy shows, the nightclubs. But now with the pandemic, it's been, Vegas right now doesn't have all the things that makes Vegas great, and hopefully it comes back. But right now, the things that shine about the Gulf Coast, they're as shiny as ever. Beautiful beaches, friendly people, great food. So, yeah, I think you did a great job setting the table on it. So why don't we, I guess going back to Scarlet Pearl specifically, so this is the newest casino in the region, right? The newest casino resort?
It is the newest casino in the region. We opened in 2015. We're about to celebrate 5 years. I'm sitting in our new redesigned and rethought high-limit gaming experience. I wouldn't even call it a room, because a room is, anybody can make a room. It takes service amenities and the right staff to make an experience, and that's kind of what we've done here at the Scarlet Pearl.
Now, is high-limit gaming something that is a big part of Scarlet Pearl's business, or how come you guys decide to redo that?
I think that's a great question. So we've always had a room, and if you take a look at what the history of high-limit rooms, for the most part, it's been a room off the main casino floor. You slap a high-limit sign on the top. You make sure that you have, games that have higher maximums, higher minimums. Average, the $5 machines, the $10 machines go in there. You might have, your better dealers in there, your better cocktail servers. You might have a little cage, a little bar. That's it, though. No one's really, it's not that kind of surrounding experience. What we've done, and I can take you around a little bit later, is rethought, the space itself, making decisions about opulence, making it a place that just the minute you walk in, you're like, wow, I'm in somewhere I'm in a different casino that still feels the same, but it's definitely elevated. And then what we've done on top of that is we've stacked, of course, gaming positions, 50, 60 slot machines, 8 tables, BJ and Bach. We really, while we have posted limits, we're the home of where Mattress Mac made his $6.5 million bets on the Astros last year during the World Series. We don't shy away. We don't sweat the money like other casinos do. I always find it funny that here's this smaller casino in Mississippi. Everybody's shying away from taking Max their initial $3.5 million bet on the World Series. We raised our hand immediately and said, we'll take it. We have an ownership that knows that gaming is about taking the bets. No one everybody wants to have those big high rollers come in, but no one wants to take the risk, and we're willing to take the risk any day. Bring it on. We're gamblers here too. So as we think about the gaming experience, that's it from the gaming side. But we thought about, what is it? And of course, we staff it with the best people. We had an extremely stringent audition process. We made sure that everybody realized the expectations we have for this room and the people inside it. So we created 111 more positions, dedicated positions, because when you go to a high gaming space and when you go to your favorite restaurant or bar, it's your favorite restaurant or bar because you know the waiter. Waiter knows you. Bartender knows you. Maitre d' knows you. They know where you like to sit. They know what you like to eat. But the only way they do that is to have consistency in their staff. We're not rotating, it's not like, okay, you're in zone 7, which happens to be high limits today. No, you are either in the high limits or you are not. And so that's what we do with the people. And then in terms of services and amenities, we know that our gamers want to feel comfortable. So as I take you through, we redesigned the entire slot experience. We created personalized gaming pods, televisions, chargers, pull-out trays. It's like being in a first-class cabin on the slot floor. That's really what we've created. And with that, lumbar supports on the seats. They're adjustable. We have services and amenities. We have a special menu just for our highest level guests that's catered, specifically curated for them. Little snacks and bites, specialty cocktails for them. And of course, all our high level players have a reserve of their own favorites, whether it's cigarettes, cigars, alcohol, juices, you name it. We keep it just for them back here. And then on top of that, I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but we really thought about everything. It's everything from hot warm towels, like for those who you know what I mean. Like when you go to a restaurant and they give you that towel, like in a Japanese restaurant, and you're all refreshed and you're like, yes, I'm ready to eat, and it's kind of break. We do that here. When you sit down to a slot machine, you're getting a warm hot towel. If your feet are hurting and you've been playing for a while, high level guests, we have ballet slippers for you. For the ladies or the men. I mean, anybody can wear ballet slippers if they want, if they have uncomfortable things. If you get cold, because everybody complains about being cold, we have shawls, cashmere shawls for the women that we clean them after every time. And during this whole thing, we're always, we're thinking with the guest in mind, and it's guest first here, not gaming first.
Oh, I love that. And
sorry, a lot there. I apologize. I spoke.
No, that's perfect. And I think it speaks to how you guys are able to punch above your weight, as the saying goes, because you're in a very competitive market, the Gulf Coast. There's lots of casinos and lots of casinos that are attached to a national brand that has a national loyalty program where they can attract players from out of market easily. And yet, in spite of all that competition, you guys are high up in the region, right? I mean, didn't you tell me that we
do pretty well? I'm not gonna, no one posts officially their numbers, but I would say that we are definitely not at the bottom. We have some big, there's some big competitors in this market. We do have a high standard, and some established competitors too. And I think that's where it's hard. Sometimes as a smaller casino that doesn't have maybe as many rooms or as many gaming positions, is you got to differentiate. We don't have we're a privately owned casino, which is a lot of positives. We're able to make decisions that aren't necessarily based on a bunch of bean counters in Vegas. So we can go with our heart. Our owners are gamers, so they know what they like. They know what drives them nuts. They get, they can't stand it when they see people being nickel and dimed for comps and free play and making decisions on a dollar, because it's don't trip over nickels in the way to getting dollars. And that's really my general manager in building this as a marketer kept on telling me, stop being so damn cheap. And it's a wonderful thing to have that trust from a general manager, and not only for me, for the property and her employees, but knowing that she knows that her dollars, she's going to generate more people coming in and have more satisfaction and return trips because we are willing to invest in creating that experience.
I love hearing that. And you're so right that it seems like all the great casino brands and companies were built by founders that had that mindset. You know, you think about the Binions, the Steve Wynn's, the Bill Harrah's that were just investing. They weren't counting pennies. They were investing in making the best experience possible. And that's just really inspiring to hear that you guys have that mindset.
Yeah, I think it's a new breed of owners that are coming in. You know, the Granary family that owns us, they're wonderful people, and they walk the floor. I know, and if I was to kind of put them in a category, it's a category like Derek Stevens does in Vegas, where you see him on. I travel to Vegas quite a bit as I'm there, and have a house there and live there actually, and come back and forth. And it's wonderful seeing how much he cares about the property, and our owners care so much about this property. They want to be here on a regular basis. They have a home here, and they're constantly on the floor. And that's, I think, what's important is that we have a staff and an executive team that is on the floor. When we open this tonight, we're opening this Orchid Room this evening. The entire executive team will be on hand throughout the entire evening. They're going to be here through the entire weekend as we work out the kinks, because this was a collaborative project. And when you have leadership that is on the floor, that's one of the most important things of all. Everybody here is an operator, and not sitting in some pedestal somewhere away. They get in the thick of things.
Now, you mentioned the new room opening up. You also mentioned Las Vegas. Now, a lot of people around the country, they think of Vegas gaming, which is pretty much anything goes, and then maybe their local tribal casino. Where I'm based in Dallas, Oklahoma. There is craps now, but they don't get free drinks while they're playing. In other regions, they don't have craps. So, what is Mississippi gaming like, maybe compared to Las Vegas?
I would tell you that it's almost identical. I think the only difference is that we don't have like 40 casinos in a compact area of 3 square miles. And you might have to, you can't necessarily walk next door to a casino in most cases, but it's a very short drive. It's either if you're going far, it might be a $5 or $10 Uber or Lyft. But in terms of gaming, cocktails are complimentary. You don't have to pay for cocktails at any of the casinos on the coast, unless you want, of course, elevated or you're at a bar. But for the players, I mean, it's a gaming market, and that's what we're looking for. And there is a ton of opportunity, I think, in terms of game choice. Every vendor, for the most part, is in this market. Every table game that you would want to play is in this market. There might be some places because of demand. You don't have some of the more obscure, titles. I don't believe like anybody has War here. If you want to play that, but if you're a blackjack player, craps, Bach, you'll find what you want here.
So gaming sounds like you've got pretty much everything somebody would be looking for. Amenities are something that, looking at your website, it looks like you have a lot of cool stuff going on. Obviously everything, the things that you do have that people would expect are top notch. I mean, I can see from the background, know we're going to do a tour. It's an opulent, luxurious building, but you have things like mini golf, right? You've got
we do have probably one of the most challenging 36-hole mini golf courses in the country, which I'm excited to promote more and more. But we have a 300 room hotel, room and suites. We have 60 suites in there. Beautiful views. That's one of the greatest things about being on the coast. We have these magnificent views of the Back Bay, the Gulf, and what's nice is I would want to say, and I hate giving a tip off to everybody else, but every casino has these wonderful views. That's what's great about this market. Wonderful views. The food. And I say, it's not just about the casinos, because we have a great Asian place. We have a great steakhouse. We have a wonderful, more contemporary casual dining experience. Now the Orchid Room. But what the market has is we just have some of the best cooking. It's Southern cooking, but it's also influenced by New Orleans, because New Orleans is only 90 minutes away. So you have this kind of Southern influence. You have this New Orleans influence. It really is spectacular. I mean, people like to eat in this market.
Now, so we're filming this in early September, and we're actually going to film it a little over a week ago, but Hurricane Laura, at the time, it looked like it could have been. Yeah, it looked like Hurricane Laura was just going to be devastating, but thank God it turned out to not be as bad as we feared. So yeah, maybe you could speak a little more to that. What was the effect of Hurricane Laura?
When it comes down to hurricanes in the Gulf Coast region, because I've worked in Lake Charles as well, which is right outside Houston, where the hurricane came through. We build our hurricanes. We prepare for hurricanes. It was interesting during the closures of the pandemic for me that so many people in Vegas had never closed the casino before. And in the South, if you've ever worked in gaming in the South, there's at least one hurricane a year where you have to shut down all the tables because you don't know what's going to happen. And it's obviously for the safety of all employees and guests, but it's something that's not a Vegas phenomenon. It's closing down a casino in the South. Actually, pretty much everywhere in the region, I've closed gaming floors for tornadoes, for floods, for blizzards. This was my first pandemic this year, and hurricanes, of course. But everybody's prepared. And honestly, the casinos are some of the safest places. Our casino is specifically built even higher than the floodplain. We built it, I believe, 15, 20 feet higher. So even if we did have a hurricane and we did get flooded to where we're on the back bay, so we have less of an issue with that. We'd still be fine. The hotel would be fine. All our guests would be fine. In fact, I would argue that one of the safest places on the coasts is actually our casino. And that goes through all our casinos. It's a way of life down here, and you prepare for it and you get ready. But it does rain here. That is one big difference between here in Vegas and some other markets. You can't have a lot of rain in Mississippi and on the Gulf Coast.
And what is weather? I know it's going to be humid in the South, but what is weather like in summer, and what's weather like heading into fall?
I feel it's a very temperate climate, and I guess it's all what you're used to. If you don't mind the Vegas summers, you'll think it's lovely. You'll think it's like, oh, there's a little bit of humidity out, a nice breeze coming on. So it really comes out. Other people, if they're coming from the South, I mean, if you're coming from Chicago in the summer and you come down to Mississippi, it's actually nicer down here because you actually have a Gulf Coast breeze as opposed to, for the Midwest. East Coast, very similar. I mean, that's where I think there's a little misnomer that the South is like hot and muggy and humid, and it can get like that, but I don't feel it's any more than anywhere else. And then during the summer, during the winter, we don't get snow. Snow is one of those things that it might happen and, it might come down, but it doesn't stick. So if you're looking for a more modest, getting away from the blizzards, Biloxi is a great market to come to, and the D'Iberville and the whole Gulf Coast.
Well, why don't we, if it's convenient for you, why don't we do a little tour? Let's check out the.
Yeah, I'll give you a great. I'll actually start with the entryway. Right here is the entrance to the Orchid Room and elevated gaming, and that's why we didn't want to put high limits on it because it's not high limits. It's an elevated gaming space. But what you're looking at, these podiums right here, and I'll come closer. These are backlit onyx. It's vanilla onyx from Greece that's like 2 centimeters thick, and we have lights behind it, so it gives us beautiful glow right from the entryway as we're coming through. And the entire room is, it's themed with the orchid. Orchid is just delicate, beautiful flower, but it denotes luxury and beauty and strength. So we're very proud of that. As you come up here, we're coming up into the high limit tables area, and you'll see throughout. We have this beautiful brass work. We think, brass is something that a lot of casinos have gotten away with. I think they got away with it in the 80s and 90s, and no one's really done it. We brought this beautiful, ornamentation here. We have this wonderful laid-out pit, very lovely. You see this beautiful ribbon chandelier up at the top, and as we're going through, we have dedicated positions. We have USB chargers, of course, at every station for all our guests because they want to recharge their phones. That's the worst thing to do. When you hit that... When you hit that jackpot or you hit that bonus, you want to be able to call someone. And the worst thing to have is a phone that you can't take a picture of your royal flush.
Yep.
Going through, we have our own cage and player services area right there. And I apologize, I'm taking you on this side, but this is like one of the highlights I actually think of our room. So let me make sure. These are our bathrooms, and. We have our ladies and we have our men's. So I'm just going to knock just in case someone forgot to lock. Perfect. And I'm going to bring it inside. So what we've really created is this magnificent place. But what we did nothing cheap. And, we put in Toto toilets automatic raising, of course. Fully functional, top, they're the Rolls Royce of toilets. So, so as I come back through, let me take you into our slot area.
That was my first ever tour of a high limit bathroom.
So what you're looking at right now is our slot area. So some things that kind of point out from here is we have these beautiful orchid petal inspired chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. You can see, this carpet was from Britain's Carpet of London. So it was hand pieced and designed specifically for the room specifications. We made sure that, we weren't hiding any of these orchids, but this was made specifically for us, for this room. And they usually do palaces and luxury hotels, and now we got our own little palace and luxury hotel right here.
Wow.
So as we go down this ramp, and you'll see these beautiful purple drapes. We used a lot of velvet through the room. So you'll see these beautiful drapes that we have, and I'll give you kind of a look. You can see, we made it all about textures. You really want to touch every piece of everything in this room. You want to touch the brass. You want to touch the carpet. It's so plush. I would sleep on this carpet. I'll get to the wallpaper in a second because it's amazing. But even our end caps, even the ends are brass and velvet, as you can see with alabaster directs at the bottom. Wow. So let me take you into, I'll take it, I'm sure many of your people who watch like Lightning Cash and Lightning Link. So I'll bring you to this station right here. We're at one of our gaming pods, as I kind of described it. And as you can see, we of course have a TV on each. So everybody, we have a TV full of cable, sports. We made sure all the sports channels are there for, we made sure we have like, I believe 40 channels of music. So we realized that, if you want to watch your favorite game, you can place your bet, you can come to a slot machine and play. As mentioned, and let me pull this out. Every station has a USB port for recharging your phone down here. Mm-hmm. And then also a wireless charging pad at every station.
Wow.
As I mentioned, we have a special menu for some. So we have a pull-out tray. Actually, these were designed for us by KGM of, actually, let me put this on the ground. This was designed for us by KGM of New Jersey. They do a lot of pop leases. Apologies, I just got triggered a bonus, apparently.
Nice.
We created the compartment. One of the complaints that we sometimes get is that women don't like having their purses on another seat or on the side, so we created a little cabinet just for purses for our guests. And then we also have a pull-out tray containing, sanitation, wipes and matches, specifically all Orchid Room, along with the remote control.
How cool.
So as we really think about this is what I mean when we're thinking about what does a player want, what does a player need? Because, if you ask the player, everybody would tell you, it's such a weird question, right? Because everybody's so used to what they're doing. So we try to make the experience as good as possible. Again, the seats, I think, are beautiful. Lumbar support as well as adjustable up and down. So that's always the worst feeling in the world is when you're on a seat for a game and it's not the right height. Not a problem here. So as we go through, and this is what I want to, I gotta just do this. So we have this beautiful wallpaper, and this is, when people ask me what my favorite part about this room is, everything's in this room is amazing. It's this wallpaper. You can't stop touching it. It's this vector velveteen. This is it. I could drape myself in this. When we make so many Seinfeld jokes here about draping yourself in velvet. This is like we had all these dignitaries in yesterday to see the room, and you saw all these, government officials, regulators, business people in society, and they're all touching the walls, and it's such an amazing feeling, and that's kind of what we've done here. I think we've created a unique space that is enjoyable to play in, and why wouldn't you want to stay in here?
It's absolutely gorgeous. And
well, you're gonna have to see it for yourself soon.
I would love to. I'm definitely planning on it. And it also, when we started the interview, I saw the OR on your face mask.
Oh yes, you can also see the purple tie. And actually, that's something all our, we're all in uniform. We've actually done that as well. We had a local clothing company actually design our cocktail server uniforms. We have a local menswear business that provides all the ties and pocket squares. there's we want to make sure everybody matches the room. So shades of lipstick, shades of nail polish, all are part of our policies.
That is incredible. I love it. And you alluded to it earlier, how you guys had to really not just ask people what they want, which you did, but you guys got truly creative. And it reminds me of the Henry Ford quote: "If I asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse."
Faster horse. Yeah, and honestly, there's a lot of design. It's funny because we had a couple of our friends, friendly competitors in the business, come see the room as well, because we are really a tight-knit community here in the South. So, for us, it's not like cutthroat businesses. The people from casinos do hang out with each other. You can't help it. It's both a wonderful big tourist town and a small town at the same time. And it was funny because you'll see in here a lot of white. We have a white carpet in a casino, and that exactly something you don't see. But and the question is, why not? If you believe you can keep it clean, that's what. And people are talking about it. We have surfaces that are harder than it. We're making decisions. I mean, you saw the bathrooms. Why do you need to have an $8,000 toilet in the bathroom? It's because, well, where else are you going to see an $8,000 toilet except the best high limit room in the country? So those are the kind of decisions that they don't make financial sense, but they do make financial sense because you're creating an environment. You're creating we want people to walk away loving this. And just because there's traditional operating ways of running a high limit room, we feel, as this property has when we opened up, when no one thought we, and succeeding when we did, opening up, the sports book that took the largest bet in the country, one year into existence. And now with this, we feel that we're shifting the paradigm. It's such a terribly overused phrase, but we really are thinking the gaming experience from a different standpoint, and we believe our customers are going to love it.
Well, it is so refreshing to hear because there's so much news in a lot of markets that are just getting crushed, where they're having to think about where they can cut and you guys are being creative and pushing boundaries and flourishing. So it's refreshing to hear it. And I know I really want to come visit, and I know we're excited to launch an offer on URComped, so a lot of URComped customers can come experience Scarlet Pearl.
Well, we're excited for that too. We're excited for people to, it's called the Secret Coast for a reason. Most people don't know about it, but it's great. Every time someone I know comes from Las Vegas or Atlantic City, where they're used to going to those properties, and they come here, they make the next trip here. There was a survey done by one of our competitors. With Vegas kind of not being there where everybody wanted to go. They wanted to come to a beach. They wanted to come somewhere sunny. And this is where, they started directing offers. Somewhere that, they have a jewel here. And everybody knows it who's from here, and everybody knows it who comes here. And we're excited to share that with the country.
Now, for practical purposes, people flying in from out of the region, what airport are they going to?
Okay, so if you're flying in from out of the region, there are 4 main airports. There are direct flights that do happen on Sun Country and Allegiant. But you can also, I believe Allegiant, apologies if I'm wrong on that one. But the direct hubs that come in here, American, United, and Delta all fly. Delta through Atlanta, American through Charlotte and Dallas, and United through Houston. And there are assorted other routes that also take place. I believe Nashville is coming online this year, later this year. But in terms of also that, we're off the Interstate 10. We're not off we're far enough off the highway. We're only a couple miles, all of us. I believe it may be 3 miles total from Interstate 10 to get to a casino on Mississippi's Gulf Coast. So if you have access to the interstate system, we're not that far away.
Well, Ben, this has been a inspiring interview. I cannot wait to get out there, and I appreciate you delaying so we can do this in the new high limit room, because as much as you described how beautiful it is, actually seeing it, it's mind blowing. So I can't wait to see it. I know a lot of people are going to be excited after watching this to come visit. Is there anything I forgot to ask you that you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered a lot today. We covered a lot.
Well, again, thank you for my first ever high limit bathroom tour.
I'm glad I can introduce you to the Toto. You're going to want one. Everybody who has one loves it.
I cannot wait to go and rub the carpet, rub the walls. Hopefully security won't throw me out of there. Yeah. I'm just rolling around. But Ben, thank you so much. Ben Koff, VP of Marketing at Scarlet Pearl. Thank you again for your time, Ben.
Greg, thank you very much. And thank you to all your URComped members.